ready, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I will call to order the local board of appeals, and with that, we can start with Red County.
Sure.
All right. I'm just going to give an overview of the Wright County portion.
Up to go.
Yeah, come on up forward.
Come for the mic.
Come up here. Where do you
Actually, just sit here, give us your name, address.
Do you want me to run the PowerPoint for you?
No.
You don't need the PowerPoint at all? Okay.
Amy, should I be doing this for this one also? Like the attendance, who's here? Like Sarah's here now.
I made note of it, so I think we're okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you shoot it off?
Are you trained?
Now we're back.
So I do have the more detailed information for all of Wright County here, if anybody has questions on that. I'm not going to go through all of that because it doesn't really pertain much to the rest of Dayton. So again, my name is Adam Blomquist. I'm with the Wright County Assessor's Office. Jamie Jensen is with me here as well, and she's with the Wright County Assessor's Office. Together we cover Otsego and the Wright County portion of Dayton. The first page here, we just like to remind everyone of the sales period. We're looking at October 1st of 2023 through September 30th of 2024. And those sales during that period are going to be for our 2025 assessment and for taxes payable in 2026. So next page, during this year's study, we had 2 qualified sales in the city of Dayton and the Wright County portion, which is unusual. Our state time adjusted median sales ratio was 82.57%. After adjusting for market conditions and equalization for the 2025 assessment, the final ratio was 95.82%. This was a result of a 4.96% increase in total residential value. The state of Minnesota requires assessors to be between 90 and 105% of value. In the chart there, you can see some of the surrounding cities and how they fared this last year.
Can I ask you a question about
Yeah.
that? It seems like that's kind of after the fact. So, what if you missed those numbers?
What do you?
The sales ratio. I'm just curious. Let's say you hit whatever 89. What does that entail?
You mean instead of 95?
Instead of 90 to 105.
Well, we're required by the state to be between 90 and 105. So that 82% that's where we started before we made any changes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then we make those changes to bring it up to 95.
Yep.
That's our goal, is to be right about 95%.
And is that based on all of Wright County or just those 2 sales?
That's just on those 2 sales that are in Dayton.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions? No? Okay. Next page just shows the overall residential and seasonal rec value in this portion of Dayton. The graph shows the years past as well. Just a little just some information there. We did quintile this last summer, so we reviewed all the properties in that area. The next review will be the summer of 2029. And below that, you can see those are the 2 sales that we had this last year. And that's pretty much it.
Any questions?
No.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Open County.
For Hennepin's portion. Good evening, Mayor Fisher and council members. I'm Mitchell King with the Hennepin County Assessor's Office. I'm a residential appraiser for the county and lead appraiser for Dayton. Tonight, we are discussing the real estate market for Dayton and what we saw for the 2025 assessment. Sales between October 2023 and September 2024 were used and analyzed. The sales indicated an average increase of 3.1% for residential property types. This gross statistics is a net figure that considers only market-related changes. These figures do not include new construction or property type shifts. Other property type increases are as follows. Commercial went down 3.7%. Industrial went up 1.6%. Apartments stayed flat at 0%. Townhomes at 0%. Duplex triplexes went up 50.5% due to adding 2 triplexes to the city. The 2025 assessment for Dayton is as follows. For the total market value, it was approximately $2,547,363,600. For new construction, it's approximately $143,855,100. The net percent increase for all property types was 2.0%. And the gross percent increase, which includes new construction, was 8.1%. Each year, we view 1/5 of the city. For the 2025 assessment, we viewed the east part of the city as well as central/southern ag neighborhoods and French Lake. Now, if anyone in the audience has anything they want to add?
Anybody want to come forward and contest their values? Name and address?
Scott Wiedema, 13990 Berkshire Lane. I guess the question I would have is if you're going to contest values, it doesn't have to be done today. Do I have till the end of the month? Is that my understanding?
What's your address again, sir?
Well, this is my home, but I have other properties.
Yeah.
So my address is 13990 Berkshire Lane.
Is that the property you're questioning?
Well, it's one of them.
Okay.
I don't know for sure on that, but I have to do some more evaluating. But number of the properties that I own in Dayton have gone up substantially in value, 10%. So my question is, how long do I have to appeal till?
Today was the day that you're supposed to have everything done by.
I thought you had till the end of April to file an appeal.
So value notice should have stated to call first to appeal any property values, and then this meeting is basically to come to if you didn't agree with what our value was after reviewing it
So
with you.
do you want me just to go through all the properties I want to contest by PID numbers, or how do you want me to do it?
You can do that, but since we were not able to view them, so if this is just vacant land, it's one thing, but if it's like a home and that type of thing, we would request to view it before we make any changes on it in general. So in that case, since we did not have any ample time to review these beforehand, it'd be up to the council to see if they just keep your appeal option open and send you to county board level, or if they want to do a reconvene for the meeting.
I was just trying to find that in here. The reconvene has to be within 3 weeks or
20 days,
20 days.
20 calendar days.
I have several, it doesn't really say that on here. It just says if you want to appeal to be here at this time and this date.
It should say to call ahead of time earlier in that statement.
Well, how far ahead of time do you call? Because I called last year.
You got to call every year if you want to appeal your value.
Okay, well, I do want to appeal my values.
Do you have comparables, or do you have, why don't you go ahead with the PIDs and go through what you think and why that number should be what you want it to be.
Well, I mean, I don't have everything completely penciled out here, but one of the, so our shop and office is 176 113th Avenue North, the Dayton Industrial Park. They just keep raising my value and raising my value there. And I'm not sure where they're getting their numbers from.
That's a commercial property?
That is, yep.
I'm sorry, what's the address?
17600 113th Avenue North. And then I'm looking for my PID on the next one here. So then I have another PID number for farmland. Property ID number is 21-120-22310001. The next one is PID number is 21-120-22320001. Next PID is 21-120-22330001.
Are those all farmland?
Those three are, yes.
So right now, you're not prepared to argue as to what that number should be? Is that
I'm
your?
not. I mean, I came here to find out what I needed to do. So I definitely want to appeal these. I would like to know where they come up with their values.
Based off of sales and what your property consists of in general. So ag land would be your acreage of your tillable versus
So
your
if I look
woods and
around
wetland.
at a property that's real nearby, I should be valued about the same.
Overall, unless they're in a program.
Okay.
And I believe we'd had this conversation in the past, and a lot of them that you were comparing yourself to were properties in green acres or egg preserve, that type of thing. So their values were a lot lower because they qualified for those programs.
So
you'd have to
okay,
compare
but-
yourself to, in general, in order to appeal, you'd have to provide factual data on other sales, not just other properties in general. It'd have to be other sales that have happened.
Okay.
And it might not be just Dayton, it could be in Corcoran or other surrounding areas as
Well,
well.
and
And that's where we get our data from.
On this 77 acres, you raised the value from last year to this year from 1,375,000 to 1,519,000. You increased the value 140,000 in 1 year on 77 acres. I find that to be absurd. And that's just one of the pieces.
Yep. A lot of farmland seen 15+% increases.
Okay.
Gotcha. And that 13990 Berkshire Lane appears you added
Well,
a second house.
I
That
talked to my attorney today and he said I had till the end of the month to appeal. Is he correct?
Not unless they do a reconvene. Otherwise, they can, if they want to close the meeting, they have that right to close the meeting, and you can appeal at the county level. Basically keeps your appeal option open. It's doing the same process, but
And you understand what they would be, what we would be looking for is comparables.
Understand.
We would be looking for that.
I will leave that to an outside service probably to take care of that for me.
You guys okay to reconvene?
Whichever works. I
It
don't
sounds
think
like
we
that's
want
our
to shut
only-
the door on you, and, but I don't know which is a better path at this point, to go to the county appeal, or to have us come back and do this again.
so basically how it would work, if you do a reconvene, we'd have to do it within 20 calendar days.
Yeah.
Mr. Wiedema would have to supply his evidence of either appraisals or other sales that he is comparing himself to you guys. and you guys could decide what you want to do with that information on deciding on values of his properties. Otherwise, if you are closing the meeting, he would be open to appeal at the county level. Then we would basically get until, what is it? May 21st to review the things, and then the county board, if it actually came to that, if you still didn't agree with us on the values in between that time, then he would appeal it to the county board, which is like June 16th, I believe. So.
Would you rather have that much more time?
Well, I guess I'm not sure what the difference or the implication is, whether to come back here or to go to the county. I mean,
So to be fair, if we reconvene and he comes back here, he still has to go to the county board anyway.
No, not if, he can then again, if he disagrees with what the board here comes up with, then he can appeal still to the county board, where if the meeting closes here, he just still
More time.
deals with us either way. It's just here it's at the local level where it'd come to you guys after, otherwise he would appeal that with us, doesn't agree, then you just go to the county level, so.
So we could reconvene at the next council meeting. I mean, if we reconvene, does that keep it open for other residents, or is it pretty much?
We've had it both ways.
Okay.
DOR technically says that you should not close it to other appeals.
Yeah.
But we have boards that do either way, I guess.
It seems like you're either reconvening or not. Seems kind of weird.
But to get
Okay.
a commercial appraisal, he's gonna have to get a commercial appraisal in the commercial building, and that might take more than 20 days.
So
He doesn't need an actual appraisal.
I guess for me right now, because if I can always go back to them in June, I would rather have you guys reconvene and do it at the city level to start with. That would be my preference.
Okay. So if we did it as part of a council meeting, that would be in 14 days. Does that
We
get
can
you?
make that work. Because if I don't have everything together and I have to go back to the county, you made it sound like today is the deadline, but I can go back to the county until you said June 30th.
Yeah, so since you showed up here, your appeal options for the county level stays open.
Stay open.
But to appeal to this board, if they close the meeting tonight, you had to have it done by today. Unless they reconvene because of it.
Okay, but who's actually setting the value? You are.
The county is.
And
The
so
county is
what am
contracted
I
through the
appealing to
city.
the city?
Because there's a process where you can either have an open book or a local board, and the city of Dayton or the council chose to have a local board, which gives you an option to appeal to them.
Right.
Which
So we can.
you need to have
adjust it.
factual data to supply to them, and they have to base a decision off of that factual data if they
Yep.
think that whatever values you come up with are more accurate than what we had.
Okay. I would prefer if Mr. Mayor and council, if you would hold this open for me, it would be much appreciated.
You guys
I'm
okay
good,
with it?
I'm good with that.
It's okay with me.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If we reconvene, does that mean that we continue with other landowners tonight, or we just stop all completely here and then we reconvene? Like, this is my first time through the process. I'm just wondering how that works.
If there's anyone else here that wants to appeal, they can appeal here and be done today.
So I think
You guys can vote on that.
If let's say somebody doesn't show up and then they come to the reconvening, they're not allowed to do that, correct? Because they didn't come to this meeting.
No, they can still come to the
Oh,
reconvene.
they still can?
So it could
Not
happen
worried
that,
about
it could
that.
happen that you do a reconvene, someone shows up to the reconvene that didn't call us, and then you have to decide if you want to do another reconvene. But you have to do that within the 20-day window.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Well, to
like
be
a
fair, like I
forever.
said, it just, in here it says, if you want to appeal to come here. That's what I did.
It should say right on there that to call.
Yeah,
first.
maybe it did, but.
Yeah, you're not the first person to be kind of surprised by that, but we try to get that information out, but it does. Okay, so we need a motion to reconvene? I would assume we do.
Yep, I think you should continue the meeting.
Continue the meeting and
Yeah.
Just continue it?
And then
Okay.
we'll
At
just
the
reconvene
end.
at the end instead of adjourn.
Yeah.
So, sir, it was the 5 properties? The 3 agricultural ones, the commercial one, and then your primary residence as well? Okay.
I'm not sure on my primary residence, but the other ones for sure. I need some more time.
Okay. And if it is a residence, we would need to come and view it before we can make any changes. Same thing with the commercial property. And the agricultural, if there is any homes or buildings on it, we'd need to set up an appointment to inspect those as well.
Okay, and you'd want to do that before
Yep.
we reconvene?
Yep.
Okay, so who do I call for that?
You can call me. I can come out and take a look.
Okay, I'll need your card. I know I've called before. I think I've talked to both of you maybe in the past on the telephone.
Pretty sure last year you talked to him initially, and then you talked to me about your agricultural property in general. I never talked to you about your personal property or your commercial, so I don't know if you had questions about
my
that.
personal properties.
I believe you talked to
Somebody
another.
left a note on my door.
Right. I think you talked to another appraiser about potentially that second house. So.
Okay. Are you guys gonna go ahead and do that then?
Yeah, we will be fine reconvening. So we simply do not close this meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to continue the meeting.
Well, there might be more people. That's at the end.
Yeah.
So,
And
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks,
Mayor
Scott.
and Council.
Could I get your phone number?
Yeah, 6
Anybody else?
282-4127. I know sometimes when I call you guys, I do.
I do.
That
and I
next
do.
council
2
meeting,
weeks.
so
Is
2
it
weeks.
alright if I give you a call?
It'll be 2 weeks.
We can close the.
We can close the right
Oh,
county
that's
one.
right, yeah.
Right, county.
Except we didn't open a
Okay,
separate one.
and then you need to come out, because the farmland,
I
there's
think,
one
I
old
think
house
you
on
can
it.
just
That's
motion
it.
to
You need
close
come
the right
inspect
county
that house.
portion, because we're not gonna.
We would still
reconvene
want to,
that
just
portion.
because we could be high on that
Okay.
house in
And then
general
they actually
for
agree to
value as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
So, let me know.
So I'll need a motion to close the Wright County portion.
Yeah, I'll give you a call
I make a
tomorrow.
motion to close the Wright
Yeah,
County
perfect.
portion of this.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. So that was unanimous, 4-0, to close the Wright County portion, so you are free. Nobody else? Anybody? Oh, they can't do this online.
And so then you just had some to read in, correct?
Yeah, we had 3 properties to read in within the 10-day window.
Okay.
Just give you the PIDs and then all that stuff. PID number 1012022310004 was originally assessed at $564,800. We are recommending a reduction down to $540,000. Next one was PID 3212022110087. It was originally assessed at $672,100. We are recommending a reduction down to $615,900. And then the last one was 3212022140019. It was originally assessed at $743,100. We are recommending a reduction down to $680,000. And all the owners were okay with those value changes. So.
Did you say the PID had a 19, or is it 0009?
0009.
Okay, perfect.
So those 3 properties, was it just a matter of the property owner showing you comparables?
Yeah, it was a mixture of characteristics. One of them was percent complete on a new build.
Oh, sure.
So we went from complete to like 90.
So there's information that they presented you weren't aware of?
Yep. Yeah, the walkthrough helped getting the characteristics, and then it also looked nicely with how sales were selling. So.
Yeah, okay. We good then? I did have one other question. So last year, I think we recommended changing the class of a property. And it sounds like that was kind of overruled. Is that correct, that we do not have that authority to reclass a property?
No, you do. But in that case, the county disagreed with that change based on state statute. So the county brought it to the county board level, and the county board changed it back to residential.
So with values, they can't, but with class, they can.
No, the county board can overrule a local board on any of the changes.
Oh,
So you guys have the right to change value and class.
yep.
but the county board also has the right to change value in class,
To overrule
and
it.
they can overrule it.
Okay.
And not to say that you guys don't know stuff, but the county board is a group of people that are typically real estate, in the real estate field in general. There's some of them that all have experience in that, so.
Okay.
In that case, they read some of the information that was given to on what qualifies for an ag property
Right.
and whatnot, so they had the right to overrule that in that case.
Okay.
So the board you're referring to is not necessarily then the elected county board?
Must not be.
Correct, yeah. So what we would want you guys to do is vote on those three
Oh, yes.
changes first, and then you'd need to, if you're planning on doing a reconvene, you'd have to vote to recess the meeting and pick a date to do that on as well.
Okay. So I need a motion and a second on those properties.
I'll motion to approve those changes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. And then we would need a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion to recess.
Recess until,
The 22nd?
Yes. 22nd.
22nd, April 22nd,
Do you want us at the time? Do you want to do 5:30, 6 o'clock? What do you think?
5:30. Oh,
6,
yeah, I wouldn't think it would take, 6 is probably more palatable. 6.
It's up to you, Mayor.
Yeah, no, I think does that make sense?
Yes.
6?
Yeah.
Okay, did I get a motion? Was it
Yeah.
you?
David
You
did a
do
motion.
second.
Okay,
Second?
and Sarah, any discussion about that? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0 at that. And with that, I think we're done. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.